But then as a beginner, is it necessary? That's another question. Is it necessary for you to play your own tracks? Like to show the promoter that you're playing your own tracks? Hey, what's up? This is Laidback Luke, DJ and producer, and I'm back here answering one of your questions. And I think it's so incredible that I just scroll through the comments usually and I see one of these gems right here. As a DJ producer myself, I'm curious what percentage of your own tracks versus other people's tracks do you play in a night, or does it depend on the gig? And I do think it's interesting. I often get my wife and perhaps management shouting at me that I should be playing more of my tracks because at my level, people do come out and watch me play my hits, want to hear my newest tracks and my newest remixes. But I'm always in a battle. Like I'm always separated. Well, I guess it's the DJ and the producer in me, where as the DJ, I love catering to the crowd, giving them what they want and what they need. And often the majority of the time, you get to shows and sometimes the majority of the people don't know who you are. Or if it's a good show that has sold out on my name, then it's fair play. You know, I can just play my own tracks and everyone's happy. But there's plenty of times that I play shows and half of the people don't know who I am. And in those types of circumstances, I fall back on my pedigree as a DJ, one that can adapt to the crowd, and I'll give them a bit of Chris Lake or I don't know, Mau P or DJ Khaled, whatever they're feeling. But as a producer, there's this part of me that would love to test out new tracks, would love to see how my new remixes are doing, would love to play a whole lot of my own mashups and edits, obviously. But also on the producer side, I realize that I am an artist, maybe even an artist before a DJ. And then as people buy tickets to see me and to come and see me play, they should definitely hear my tracks, because what if you would buy tickets to Metallica and they would play non-Metallica tracks? It would not make sense, right? So that's the producer side of me versus the DJ side. It's an ongoing battle. Even when I'm on stage, I sometimes catch myself thinking, should I not be playing more of my own tracks? But we're in a vibe right here. Should I then break that vibe down to test a new track right now? Or what makes sense right now? And to be honest, I don't really have the answer for that. It is literally the game that I'm playing at each and every show. Now, you who are watching, who is a DJ and producer, and you are getting some shows, this question, what percentage of tracks should you play a night in your world and in your realm? For instance, you could have the mindset that, oh, I should be playing 90% of my own tracks in front of a crowd that doesn't per se know me yet, right? Because you're unknown currently, or you're trying to make your way up and people tend to know you wherever you're at. And maybe you should be playing more of your tracks. The real answer is that there's not a percentage or a pinpointable percentage possible as to, you know, you should play 45% of your own tracks in the DJ set. It doesn't really work that way, but it depends on what your stance is, being an artist versus a DJ. Where do you put yourself? Do you put yourself in an artist bracket? Then I can imagine that you would want to promote more of your own tracks and remixes in your sets. But if you're used to open format DJing, for instance, or wedding DJing, for instance, then you know how to manipulate a crowd and you know what the crowd wants. In that case, it might even be easier for you to manipulate a set some way around that you introduce your track here and there. But then again, at that level, you're not really doing the crowd a favor unless, man, this would be amazing. Say you're Avicii and you just produce levels, but people don't know you yet, and you play levels at every set, and it's a guaranteed banger, and this is a future classic. Yeah, of course, I've had that with my classics as well. I remember playing Break Down the House when it wasn't released yet, and when labels didn't want to sign it yet, and I was playing it at these shows, and everywhere I played it, people heard it for the first time, and the response was insane. It was already as if they knew it, proper energy on the dance floor, people even singing the vocal along because it was so catchy. And in those types of instances, it's like, yeah, why would I not play my own track, right? It's going so well. This might be a future classic. let's just go for it. Now, say we take it one step higher, because I remember Zed tweeting about this a couple of years back, and he considers himself, Zed, whom I respect a lot and I'm really friendly with, he considers himself more of an artist than a DJ per se. And at his level, which is much bigger than mine, I can imagine that people come out to hear his biggest hits, right? I'd say in his case, you know, he's allowed to play 80-90% of his own tracks per show. And similar case would be Calvin Harris, where it's like when you see Calvin Harris and you pay for a Calvin Harris ticket, then you are guaranteed to have at least 70% of people or 80% of people there knowing who Calvin Harris is and their hits, just as Zed. Yeah, then it's like, why would you play other people's tracks? And that's a very luxurious position to be in. So it's interesting, beginner people versus established stars, and someone like me who's probably right in between. And that's why it's so hard to pinpoint an exact percentage. But if I would need to pinpoint an exact percentage right now of my sets, it would be roughly 25% or 33%, like 1/3 of my set. I would add my stuff and my flavor in there for sure. But then as a beginner, is it necessary? That's another question. Is it necessary for you to play your own tracks? Like to show the promoter that you're playing your own tracks? Or maybe this could be an angle, you know, you play your own track and you record it for social media, and then you can make some clips or TikToks from it. That's super cool as well. That's definitely an angle where you're like, oh, I played my new track and I was in front of a full crowd. And wouldn't that be insane? Say you would be playing a show and a headliner is up right after you. Then it's a 1+1, because number one, you could end your set with your new track, recording that for a clip for social media. Number two, the dance floor is full, so it'll look like you have this big crowd while you're recording your social media clip. And number three, if you bump into the headliner, you could be like, hey, this is my track, I'm playing it right now. And you could be smart like that as well. So there's many angles to approach this. But interestingly enough, I don't think people even talk about this, the necessity of playing your own tracks, even on a higher level. So this was a really good thing for me to wrap my head around as well. And especially for younger talent as well, I can imagine that sometimes you feel the pressure to just play your own edits and just play your own remixes and just play your own tracks and that sort of thing. It doesn't really work like that. I think in the end, and this is something I probably will make a video about as well, it's all about watching the crowd. It's all about monitoring the energy of the night, something I've said here before, to then decide what the tactic is. Or if you have a grander vision, say you're an up-and-coming artist and you only play with a horse mask that you've painted black, and the vision is this: you have 3D visuals and you only play concert stages or whatever. That's a whole different realm, and you can understand how the percentage of playing your own tracks there would matter versus someone who's an open format DJ who's coming up as a DJ producer. So it varies. It's kind of like a gray area, but I'm happy we could speak about this. I'm happy I could answer your amazing question. And before I go, I got to talk to you about next week, because some of you have been asking me to bring the vlog back. And I will be playing at EDC Festival. I'm doing a back-to-back with DJ Chucky. It's going to be an iconic set. And I figured, why not film the whole thing? So I'm diving back in for this one event. But if you want to see it, make sure to stay tuned, and I will catch you back here next week. And if you have a question for me as well that you'd like to have answered, make sure to leave it down below. And as always, I love reading through the comments and I love responding. Such a great little community we are building right here. So I really appreciate that. I'm Laidback Luke. L's up. See you on the next one.